Listen, I don't really mind the cold. Like, I love skiing in the mountains. But if y'all telling me to go in, like, desolate Minnesota to go ice fishing when it's, like, below 40 with the wind chill, I ain't doing that. Plus, I just hate fishing normally. Chase Lee Hockey here with the Blue Futon reviewing Dead of Winter. What's about pretty simple premise. We have a grief-stricken widow who's going to go to a lake where she met her husband for the first time, or like a date, if you want to put it that way. But now she runs into this house. Something's not right. There's blood in the snow, and she thinks someone is kidnapped. What is she going to do about it? So, did I like this film? I thought it was an interesting film, but it's one of those films where you got to kind of take your brain off of your, just off the nodes going everywhere, because the way they travel everywhere and the way some of these scenarios are and the way and what the actual overarching premise is at the very end of the film, you're just like, huh. It's a very moment. I'm not saying it's a bad but it's more of a, okay, that's an interesting But I just think getting there was like, it was interesting. I'll put it that way. Was it fantastic? No. Was it shite? No. But I think the overall experience is very interesting when you don't think about it. Positive. Emma Thompson, Judy Greer, they do a great job as Judy Greer is this fentanyl-driven nurse who really wants to do something to this girl that they're kidnapping because she's tried to commit suicide multiple times. And I think that is a very interesting arch, whatever you want to put it, in this movie, because you always hear about the stories, right, of when people, try to commit suicide themselves, or they regret it if they stay alive, or if they are in that scenario and the tables kind of turn, they're like, and they're not the ones taking their life, they don't want to die. So it's a very interesting psyche premise that is brought up in this movie about suicide. Should you stay alive? Do you want to stay alive? And how worthy is your life to an extent? Because if you're willing to take your life, you're willing to take your life. And I'm hearing all this assistant death that is occurring in Canada, but I heard it's mostly for the older people. But I still find that a little creepy where the assisted death is actually occurring. Okay, I know that's a different topic, but let's talk about this movie. It's cold. This movie makes you feel cold. The whole movie, you're like, nope, I don't ever want to visit Minnesota. Not because of this reason, because of other political stuff, but let's put it that way. Let's put it that way. It's cold. It's so damn cold when you watch this film, and you're like, this is miserable. Who wants to live like this? It's almost like when I visited Alaska, right? Where the Alaskans where I visited, they were there from I want to say March to October, but from November and then October to March, they were at their summer home in a different state because it gets so damn cold. This seems the same way. It's like, I don't ever want to be there for the winter. And this movie makes you feel that way of what's going on. And man, Emma Thompson, if you're going to do that drive, maybe get a better truck. I mean, yes, an old Ford is a nice looking truck. But if you're going to go in negative 40-degree weather, get a more reliable vehicle. Maybe you don't have the money. I understand that. But come on now. Okay. But the premise, the whole movie is kind of a cat and mouse premise of Emma Thompson going to try to save this girl in a basement, and she has to get past, this couple. And I do think it's interesting them going back and forth from the lake to the cabin, to the lake, to the cabin, to the lake, to the cabin. But I'm almost like, I want to know the distance between them because injuries occur and other things happen, and they're also kind of like passing by each other with specific paths. Yes, you have a road, but then it seems like there's another path where some guy's trying to transport a tent from the cabin to the lake, or Emma Thompson's character is trying to get from the lake to the cabin and back to the lake to get stuff that's on the lake when she was going to go fishing or in her truck. And I just feel like there can't be that many, safe pathways, but what do I know? I'm not there. It's more of shut off your brain, and they're not seeing each other at a specific time. Smartness in some of these characters. I understand how the fentanyl-driven nurse might not be that smart because let's just say she's a fentanyl-driven nurse. Good God. Fentanyl, don't fucking touch. People, don't touch this shit. From Venezuela, from China, from pharmaceuticals. Don't touch this. But I'm not going to spoil the end of what they're trying to do. But I just feel like at what they're trying to do at that location would fail tremendously. Would just fail. Doesn't matter if you do it so perfectly, it feels like it would fail. But what do I know? I'm not a medical professional in that realm. I'm just a basic person reviewing some YouTube. Okay, save ammo, right? And that's another thing where one person was actually a decent shot, but I just really feel like this one person, she would at least know a little bit better, not to just like shoot guns like that. If you were kind of grown up in this area and you have done fishing, like this, you would have brought a gun with you anywhere with wildlife to stay alive. So I don't know. There were some scenarios where I was just like, really, that's how we're gonna push this scenario, or that's how that's gonna go. But there were, like I said, the smartness as well, where it's like, oh, but you're going to do smart stuff with doing stuff with water and blankets. And I was like, why are you doing that? And then when it came down the line, I was like, that makes sense. That makes sense for what you're trying to do. But then when the gun thing comes, I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You have a scope on that pistol! Anyway, so Dead of Winter, I do think it's a thrilling enough time to enjoy yourself. It is a cold movie, through and throughout. You're either going to like the ending or you're not. I was kind of indifferent when I'm like, oh, I understand what they're trying to do. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't think you had to do that. But hey, Dead of Winter, this is winter. And it was pretty dead. So Dead of Winter will receive a 3.5 out of 5 with Futon. So it goes at 70%. Let's see what the critics' news scores gave this one. Critics, 79% with 43 of them. Audience score, 84% with over 100. No critic consensus. I do feel like now that they're not doing critic consensuses as much as they used to. Anywho, 84, 79, 70. Chase out here at the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. One of these Futontopia. Your Blue Futonians. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. I don't care what to say tomorrow, a week, for a month, a year from now. I'll every single freaking one of you. Peace and love, peace and love. And would you go, fishing like this in Minnesota? Nah.